am full clown today because I made these bloomers for an art rave that I'm going to soon, so I needed a very last minute costume, and what's more clown than bloomers, right? They're actually super easy to make, just a little bit tedious at times, and you don't even need a pattern, so very beginner friendly. So let's just jump right into it. I'm one of those people that don't really measure things, so you're going to have to wing it. So grab any kind of fabric and fold it in half. I used shorts as a quick guide, and I added 10 centimeters to the side of it because we're going to have to ruche it up. And then I also marked where the crotch is. I added a few extra centimeters to the inseam just because you're gonna be hemming it, and with the ruching it shrinks a little bit as well, so it's better to have a bit too much inseam rather than too little, because that will be a whole new set of problems. And then I used the shorts again to make it easier to do the curve nicely. I did add a few extra centimeters to the top as well because of the same reasons, but even then it was still a little bit too low-waisted for me, so I would add even more to that. When you have all the measurements, all you have to do is cut it out. And then I used it as a guide to cut an identical piece. Once I had the pieces, I put them right sides together and sewed only up until the crotch. Ignore the inseam for now because we need to sew it in a different way. And then for the inseam, you want to put those right sides together as well and do a straight stitch. And that's the base of the shorts done. If you want to prevent fraying, you do need to put like a zigzag stitch alongside the straight stitch, and that would help with the whole thing. Then you want to hem all of the raw edges. To hem it, you just need to fold it twice and do a straight stitch. And that would make it look nice and neat before we move on to the fun part. So turn the project inside out, and that's where we'll be working from now. The order that you do the ruching doesn't really matter, but I wanted to start with the middle one because I'm very extra and I wanted to do it diagonally instead of just straight. But if you want to make your life easier, I would recommend just doing it straight, trust me. But I did it diagonally, so the top one will be for the waist, so leave some space for that. And you can pin the first elastic band to the side of the shorts. And the second side of the elastic, I pinned it in the middle between the crotch and the waistband. I did wing the measurements of the elastic, but it's quite literally just half of one side of the leg. And you should be fine. And then because it's quite difficult to do diagonal ruching in a straight line, I did find the middle of that line and I pinned it as well so that I can use it as a guide when I'm stretching it out. And then I did the exact same thing to the other side, measuring and making sure that they're both equal. It's best to measure twice than having to undo all of the seams, which I have done in the past, so don't repeat my mistakes. Now when you're ready to sew, trust me, it's a lot easier than it looks. All you have to do is grab one of the pins that you're using as a guide and then stretch, and grab another side of the fabric to just make it a bit more secure and stable, and then do a straight stitch all along. And then grab the other guide that you're using as a pin and do the exact same thing until you do the whole triangle. So waistband elastic, I would recommend measuring on your waist, making sure it's a little bit tight because, well, you want it to hold up, but also elastic does stretch over time and you don't want to deal with that. Find the middle of the elastic by putting it together. There you go, that's the middle. Put a pin in here, then use any of the seams as a guide. That's going to be your middle. Then put these two together, the ends, pin them together and pin it to the opposite side. And then put those together. Got a little infinity symbol. Find the middle and pin it to the sides. And that way you're gonna have 4 guides that will help you when you're stretching and sewing to make sure that all of the parts are equal at equal tensions, and it will look nice and pretty. Sew all around, and we got a waistband. For this ruching right here, the measurements don't really matter. Again, just wing it. It's just slightly smaller than half of your waist. And then once again, you find the middle, you pin it to the middle, and then pin the sides to the sides and sew while stretching. For the legs, you guessed it, same exact method. And I love this ruching effect so much that I want to do it on the legs as well, and for that all you need to do is put another elastic band slightly higher on the leg, and you will get this. But also, it's gonna be more secure if you do it like that, and it's not gonna move around as much as if you would just do it on the bottom, so I would highly recommend doing it as well. The last thing that's missing is the bows, and bows are easy. Everyone can do bows. And I hand sew them on, and it looks perfect. It looks beautiful. And I love costumes that you can wear every single day, because tell me I'm not gonna wear this all the time with all my outfits. We love functional costumes. To be a clown, you obviously need the accessories as well. So I made this collar, and with the same technique, I made these boot cups as well, which I'm actually obsessed with, and I'm definitely going to wear throughout winter as just like a casual everyday outfit thing. Here's a quick tutorial for that. You want a piece of fabric that's the length of 3 times of your neck, plus about 2 centimeters of seam allowance. And the width would be double of the length that you want, plus about 3 centimeters for seam allowance. The side hems are folded twice and did a straight stitch. For the longer sides, I just did a straight stitch all the way, and then did a zigzag stitch to prevent fraying because I didn't want it to be too bulky. And then folded the piece in half, right sides together, and did a straight stitch. Turn it inside out. Now, depending on where you want the ruffles, you will put the little tunnel for the ribbon in different areas. So if you want the ruffles to just be like this, you want to put it at the very top of the project. And if you want it to be on both sides, you would put it in the middle. So you would just sew a straight stitch at the very top if you want just 1, or 2 straight stitches in the middle if you want the ruffles on both sides. And then you just feed the ribbon through whichever tunnel you did. And that's it. That's the finished product. Obviously, this is a very last-minute costume. I made it in like 2 days. And I can wear it every day, which is like my favorite part of this. But you can go as extra or put as little effort as you want into this, and it will look like a sleigh. Maybe we'll see each other at the same party, but let me know how you get on making the same outfit, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.